Hello, everybody. Story time again at the Milledgeville Public Library here in Northwest Illinois. It was really warm out earlier today, and now it's getting colder and the wind is blowing, so you might hear it blowing in the background occasionally because it's blowing down the chimney behind me. It's a little cold sounding out there. The story we have for today comes from a place that isn't very cold. It comes from Africa, and specifically it comes from the Akamba people who live in the country or near the country of Kenya, in and around the country there. Or maybe it's Kenya. I never did figure out which one was the right way to say it. Anyway, today's story is the story of how the ostrich got his long neck. Well, once, long ago, when the earth had just been raised up and the sky had just been lowered down, the ostrich had a very short neck. Long legs, big body, really short neck. And it was very inconvenient because if he wanted to eat insects on the ground, he had to sit down on the ground and bend over to get at the insects. And when he wanted to eat the berries on the bush, he could only eat the berries that were low on the bush. He couldn't reach the ones that were up higher that looked so delicious. And when he went to the river to drink water, he had to put his legs really wide apart and bend down to get the water. And that really wasn't a good way to do it because there was a crocodile in that water. Well, one morning, the sky was just beginning to turn pink, that crocodile woke up and she started to cry because her tooth hurt so bad. Oh, she had a horrible toothache. But you know, crocodiles can't really reach their mouth with their paw, with their foot. So she needed somebody to help her. And so the crocodile got into the river and she started swimming up the river. The whole time she was swimming, she was crying. And as she was swimming up the river, she spotted a kudu. And that's an animal, it's kind of like a deer, but it has really long horns and they're twisted. They curl like this on the kudu's head. Well, she spotted the kudu getting a drink and she swam over closer and she said, "Mr. Kudu, please, could you help me? I have a terrible toothache. Could you look in my mouth and find it? And maybe you could dig out the tooth with your sharp pointed horn." Well, there was a fish eagle watching, and a fish eagle is a kind of bird that lives in Africa. And the fish eagle said, "Quack, quack, don't do it, don't do it." He was sailing around up top, and he thought that would not be smart. Well, as soon as he said, "Quack, quack," all of the animals took off running, and all of the birds flew out of the bushes. And that kudu, he just turned around and galloped away. He didn't want anything to do with the crocodile, and neither did the birds. Well, that poor crocodile, she was so sad, and her tooth hurt so bad. So she kept swimming up the river to try to find somebody to help her. And as she swam up the river, she spotted a mama baboon. That's a big monkey. And the mama baboon had a baby on her back, and she was coming down to the river to get a drink, she and the baby. Well, the crocodile, he swam over closer and he said, Mama baboon, please, my tooth hurts so bad. Is there any way you could maybe look in my mouth and find the bad tooth and pull it out with your sharp claw? Maybe, please. Well, the fish eagle, he had been following the crocodile because he knew crocodiles could be tricky. So he said, "Quark, quark, don't do it, don't do it." The mama baboon took one look at that crocodile and she galloped off with the baby on her back. Oh, the poor crocodile. She kept crying as she kept swimming up the river. Her tooth hurt so bad. She needed somebody to help her. Well, as she got further up the river, she spotted the ostrich. And remember, the ostrich has to put his legs way out like this to drink because he's got a short little neck. He was all spread out there drinking the water. And the crocodile came swimming up closer, and she said, Mr. Ostrich, please. I have a terrible toothache. Could you possibly look in my mouth and find the bad tooth and maybe dig it out with your sharp beak? Well, the ostrich didn't want anything to do with that crocodile, and so he backed up really fast. And up from above, he heard the fish eagle, "Quark, quark, don't do it, don't do it." And he really didn't want to. But he could see the poor crocodile was crying. And she said, please don't run away. It really hurts. I need help. He said, well, maybe. The crocodile said, oh, goody, just stick your head in my mouth and find the bad tooth. And she opened her mouth wide. Well, the ostrich was a lot of sharp teeth. He wasn't so sure he wanted to do this. But she was still crying, and she really did look like it hurt. And, well, he did like helping people. Oh, all right. So the ostrich went over, and he very carefully, bent down, and with his beak, he started tapping on each tooth. He said, is this the one? Is this the one? Is this the one? Is this the one? And as he was tapping on the teeth, he got deeper and deeper and deeper into the crocodile's mouth. Well, have you ever noticed that when you're eating something, you can kind of smell it too? That's the way our smell and our taste works. And the deeper the ostrich got into the crocodile's mouth, the more the ostrich smelled good to the crocodile. And she remembered she hadn't eaten any breakfast that morning, and she was really hungry. And so without thinking about it, she closed her mouth right on that ostrich. And the ostrich his head was stuck inside, said, let me out, let me out, let me out. And the elephant was nearby, and he said, oh, help, help, crocodile's trying to eat ostrich. And all of the animals started to come around to try to help out. Well, ostrich, he was pulling and trying to get his head out. And the fish eagle was saying, pull, ostrich, pull, pull, ostrich, pull. And the other animals started calling too, pull, ostrich, pull. And ostrich was pulling and pulling and pulling and trying to get his head out of that crocodile's mouth. But the crocodile, she didn't want to come out of the river, and the ostrich was pulling her out of the river. So she started pulling too and pulling and pulling. But you know what? The ostrich was on the solid land, and ostriches have big claws on their feet. So he dug his claws in, and he really pulled hard, and he started to pull the crocodile out of the river. Well, the sun was hot by that time, and this crocodile started to get a little bit too warm, and the hot air and the heat and the sand, and it was making her tooth hurt worse. And so she opened her mouth and she said, please put me back in the river. And as soon as she opened her mouth, ostrich quickly ran away. Not too far, but just a little far enough. And he would have gone further, but something was wrong. Nothing looked right. The ground was so far away. Oh, that was a very delicious looking bug down there. And he bent down and he grabbed it. Wait a minute. I always have to sit down to eat bugs on the ground. And oh, look at those those berries look delicious, but they're too high up for me to Wait a minute. I couldn't reach those berries before. They were too high up. And then Ostrich looked down at himself, and he realized when he'd been pulling and pulling to get out of that crocodile, he had stretched his neck out, so now he had a nice long neck, and he could reach the high berries on the bushes, and he could reach the bugs on the ground, and he didn't have to spread out his legs really far to drink water either. He could just bend his neck down and do it, and it was so much nicer. But ever since that day, the ostriches have lived far away from the river, out in the bush, because even the young ostriches know better than to trust a crocodile. And that is today's story from the Akamba people that live near the country of Kenya in Africa. And on Friday, we'll be telling another story. I think on Friday we will tell the story of the prince and the emperor's daughter. It's a story that comes from Europe. So I hope you enjoyed today's story about the ostrich and how he got his long neck, and I hope you'll join us on Friday at 3 p.m. Central Daylight Time on the Milledgeville Public Library IL Facebook page when you will hear the story of the prince and the emperor's daughter. See you later. Have a great week.